And here we have black. And this is why I always tell people to screenshots this stuff because they've been going back in and they change it. It's like the more you search for it, the more popular it becomes, the more you spread the word, the more, excuse me, they go in and change these definitions. Because remember before, it would tell you right up here when the Dutch part, that black mean to be pale. Now they've hit it. You got to actually go in here and you got to swoon down to the bottom of the page here, and that's where they're gonna show you black means also shiny white. The origin of this word, this Paleo Indo European word that you call yourself black and you scream Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean what you think it is. It's how it's being used. It's the same thing with the word gay, right? Today we use gay to describe homosexuals, right? But gay used to mean happy. Anyone arguing that? No, because it's not a big fire starter. And look down here, right? This once again means whitening. When you actually go to the origin of this word, it means pale.
Lithuanian Baltnes pale.
So it's the origin of the word you want to get to the bottom of. You don't want to use today's definition of it because you'll spend all of your time confused, or you'll spend all your time arguing over today's definition when you want to go to the root. Where did the word come from? Right? You don't want to spend your time fighting on what does it mean today, because this is where all the knowledge is hidden. Here we go. Let's go back out here. Watch this. This had me laughing. All right, so we know about swords, right? Now, how come Old English? Uh, this was Old English for black. Yikes.
Let's.
Blex, usually darkening. But down here, they're gonna also say the Old English for black was Swartz. So which one was it? Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then you got all these towns right there called Swartz. This in Pennsylvania, and in a lot of the New England states, Swartz. It means black. That's what you should be referring to if you want to talk about the word black, because black is pale. Black means whitening. Black means to be burnt by the sun. Well, you gotta ask yourself something. I was speaking to my coworker about this. I was meaning to read the definitions, read etymology, because that's how it sinks in when you read it for yourself. You don't matter how many times I read it to you, but when someone else reads it, or when you read it yourself, I was making them read African, right? And it blew them away, right? Because it finally stuck with them what they were doing. Let's see. Well, I wasn't done with the word black. That's what it was. I want to get back. This black also. Look at this. Look down here more. Where was it? Blackamoor. They changed it to black. Look, Blackamoor, meaning black clothing, usually when worn in the morning. It's from century 14. So that was a cracker up because Blackamoor. Even if you don't even approve of the Moors, you know that that's not even the case. And that's the thing, right? A dark-skinned person of Africa, right? Black is a noun. Dark-skinned person of Africa. Well, here's the thing, right? Can I ask you something? If your hair is black, what's the color of your skin? If the hairs on your skin are black, what's the color of your skin? You're far from black. If you hold up copper and you put it next to your skin, if you stand next to a tree, a horse, you name it, and your skin matches these things, why don't you look into the animal kingdom to find out what's that color called? Why don't you look into copper and find out what is copper classified as? Because if your hair is black and your skin doesn't match that, stop being willfully stupid, right? What? If you want to believe that you're a color, which I don't, I go by what your fathers were. Because if I can go by what your fathers were, I can trace you back to the table of nations. And to me, that's more important than what crayon color you believe that you are. But yeah, that was a word. African. We were searching. I made him read African. After we broke that all down back there. So when that happened, he was able to sit here and read this, and I didn't even tell it because he picked it up on his own. Right? It said, was it African, used of white residents in Africa from 1815, used of black residents of the U.S. from 18th century. Or, and that's where he caught it, right? Because I read it black. He said pale residents, and I was like, what? He's like, well, pale is black. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, so see, I said you're ahead of a lot of people because I've seen people get stuck there and argue. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What is, you know? And then I didn't even get to him about here where it says down here, uh, when it was usually meant one brought from Africa, which remember Chief was it Langley, right? Chief Langley of the Uchi Indians. He told us there are 7 African nations who sent Negroes over, and then it was brother, what's his name there, Indian Council, right? Where he showed us the what's the things called there, the census where people we call today white were listed as Negroes. So what it says, sometimes we're contrasted to native-born Negroes. Well, we know the difference between indigenous and native. Native just means you were born on the land. Indigenous just means you've always been on this land. You're not from anywhere else, right? Negro, what was it? Latin for black. Well, we know black means to be pale. So then put that all together, and you have